Hi guys, you're watching Evan and Evergreen. My name is Evan and I make videos about minimalism, decluttering, and motherhood. Today I wanted to bring you a video from my daughter's bedroom once again, and I've finally gotten to a place where I feel like I've minimized and decluttered to a point where I really feel comfortable and I feel like we have breathing room. If you've been watching any of my recent videos, it was a day, maybe two after Hurricane Helene swept through North Carolina and Tennessee and caused widespread destruction and devastation. At that point, I decided that I really wanted to minimize, declutter, and simplify my house more than I have since my daughter has been born. So she will be 5.5 at the end of this month, and I've been practicing minimalism for 8.5 years. It'll be 9 years in January. But after she was born, I definitely acquired a lot more stuff, at least for her. Not necessarily household things, not necessarily my own things, but definitely things for her, and then things that as she grew out of them, I was having a hard time parting with because they were sentimental, or I wanted to hold on to them for future grandkids or just for myself to have. So after that hurricane, I decided that I wanted to simplify even more than I have in the last 5 years and really reduce my stress levels and make our days just more peaceful and enjoyable without all the little frustrations and irritations and conflict that can come along with clutter, with having too much in your space, with having more than you or your child can manage as far as putting things away and all of that. Around September 28th, I believe it was, something like that, at the end of September, I did a 49 Things Decluttering Challenge, which is the challenge that I created where you let go of 7 items a day for 7 days in a row. When I started this challenge, I really didn't know if I'd be able to part with 49 things because we are practicing minimalism and have been for a long time, but I was able to part with 49 things. I probably doubled that, and then even since doubling it, I've gone further still. I finally feel like I'm at a point with my daughter's room where it's like a good jumping off point. So tell me if you've ever experienced this. Sometimes when I do a big decluttering job or even an organizing job, I will let go of things as I'm decluttering and put things in their places and establish homes for things and put things where I would look for them first, following the Dana K. White method. And I'll go through this whole entire process and it will be finished. But once I get to that point where I'm like, okay, this is done, I feel like that's really the beginning, because I feel like you get to that place where it feels really, really, really good. And then you're like, okay, how can I take this from good, like a jumping off point, to making it even better than I could have imagined it before? I don't feel like I'm describing that exactly the way that I feel about it, but I hope it makes sense to you. And if you've ever experienced a similar feeling to that, let me know down in the comments. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. I've been able to let go of a lot from my daughter's room. I've let go of so much that I was able to part with some storage containers, and it just has a lot more breathing room, and I feel more now like things that didn't have a place before now have a place where they can live and exist and have a real home, other than just literally tossed into a big open storage bin in the closet. Part of this is because I got a new shelf that we mounted onto the wall, and I'll show you guys that. It's very similar to this one. So in my local Buy Nothing group, I had posted a picture of this shelf here and asked if anyone had something similar, because I wanted to get my daughter's stuffed animals off of the bed. She does not currently sleep in her bed or her bedroom. She sleeps with me, and I am looking down the road to when she will be sleeping in her bed. So I thought it would make things easier to get the stuffed animals off of the bed so that she's more easily able to get under her covers and make her bed and things like that. So I was able to get the stuffed animals off the bed by putting them onto this shelf that we already had. And then I got a similar one that's really, really nice that someone practically immediately very generously offered us as soon as I posted the ask in my group. And I was able to go pick it up. My husband spray painted it pink at my daughter's request, so it goes with her room, and the new one actually has pegs on it, so we can hang some backpacks and little purses and things that had just been thrown into the closet in a bin where she was able to access it, but they were just kind of in there living in that space and pretty much forgotten about until there was a need for it. So I'm gonna take y'all around the room a little bit and show you a few of the changes that I've made. And I also want to point out what all of our storage bins and different little drawers and boxes and things are for. Her room is very organized, so a lot of things do have their own designated place, and she knows what belongs where. And a lot of this has been the same for quite a while, so you know, it's not being changed up on her where she has to remember and keep track of where things go and not be able to do that because it's been shifted or changed. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys what we're working with right now, and I'm just really happy that we have been able to get to this place where I feel like it's not overwhelming anymore. We do have breathing room, and hopefully going from here, I can slowly be able to pull individual pieces out and simplify it even more as I'm seeing what she's playing with and she's seeing what she's interested in and playing with as well. And also another really exciting thing is in the past maybe 2 weeks or so, she has been very motivated to declutter things. She has brought me things on her own and said that she wanted to pass them on or give them to another kid or let them go. And I've really been leaning into that to encourage her and, you know, help her feel empowered in making those decisions. She recently gave me this little plastic light up mushroom that she's had since she was a baby, and it projected lights like little stars, and it played music. And I've had that ever since she was a baby, and she used to get very fussy and upset riding in the car. She did not like her car seat. She did not like to ride in the car at all. And it was a very stressful time for me. But anyway, we would use this little mushroom and project the lights on the ceiling of the car, and sometimes that would calm her down. So it was a very sentimental piece for me, but she brought it to me and then said that she didn't want to use it anymore and she wanted to let it go. So I said, okay. And then a friend of mine she just had a grandbaby, and another one of her daughters is about to have a baby around Christmas time. And Zodi knows this friend, and I asked her if she would like to give it to our friend for her grandbaby that's going to be born soon. And she wanted to, and she was excited about it. So we went ahead and gave it to her. And then I came across another item in her room that we really haven't used. It fits the theme of that same friend's daughter's nursery that she's planning for her soon-to-be born baby girl. So I asked my daughter if she wanted to give that thing to the baby that'll be born soon, and she said yes, and she was happy to give it to the baby and let it go. So I was able to pull it out of here, bag it up, and then hopefully this week I will see her and bring it to her when we go for a little visit. And so yeah, I'm just really encouraging her and leaning into the things that she wants to part with. And yes, it did sting a little bit when she wanted to let go of that mushroom little light up toy. And I could have been like, okay, well, sure, you can part with it, and then kind of hid it away and put it into my sentimental bin just for me to keep it. And she would have still had the feeling of decluttering it. But I asked myself, why just keep it to put it in a sentimental bin for myself when, I can give it to someone else for their baby who's really going to enjoy it and actually be able to use it. So I decided to just go ahead and let it go. And honestly, I think that really illustrates the power of the container concept that Dana K. White has created. We have basically one sentimental bin, and it has my things and my daughter's things in it. I do think at some point I'm going to split those apart so that we each have our own, but at the moment we just have one, and it has a little bit of extra breathing room in it where I probably could have fit that, but that would have taken up a significant chunk of space in our container. So then I have to ask myself, do I want to dedicate the space in our sentimental bin to this particular item, or do I just want to let it go because something else might pop up that is a little bit more important to me? So ultimately we let it go, and it's already out of the house and probably in the hands of that soon-to-be pregnant mom. Some of the items that I have held on to as far as sentimental things are a lot of the special dresses that she's worn. So I have dresses from all of her birthdays and birthday parties except for one, and then I have Christmas dresses and special Halloween dresses and things like that. And I do have a 17-year-old stepdaughter and a 21-year-old adopted son who wants to have kids, an 11-year-old stepson. So there are older kids in the family, so grandbabies are a possibility in the not too distant future. I'm hanging on to those things until I have someone that I want to share them with, or just until I'm ready to part with them and let them go. So I probably don't have too much more time to be able to show you guys around, But let me go ahead and give you a quick spin around the room and where we are now. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick little tour of my daughter's room and some of the things that we've been able to part with, some of the space we've been able to create. If you've seen my other videos, this wall might look a little bit different. We moved the longer pink shelf over, and then we added the one on the right that I recently got from the Buy Nothing group, and that one has the little pegs on it. So I was able to put some of her little backpacks and things that we just had in an open bin in the closet. That Frankenstein one holds her safety gear. It's got her helmet, her elbow pads, and knee pads for if she's using those to ride her bike or when she's practicing her skateboard. She does have a little collection of flashlights. She really likes flashlights. And then a couple of videos back, I was able to let go of some items on this front-facing bookshelf. We were just reading a bunch of Halloween books, so that's why there's an empty space there. This is kind of like her main toy shelf. We refer to these boxes as Purple Box 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we both know what's inside of them. So the first one is for musical instruments. The second one is baby doll clothes, bibs, and blankets that she can use with her dolls and stuffed animals. The third one is small baby dolls and stuffed animals. And then the fourth one is her dress-up stuff. And then on the shelves above, we have some of her toys and a few books, and then the one all the way to the right has some puzzles and some art paper and materials. The windowsill, I had something sitting there that I needed to put into her sentimental bin, so I finally was able to get around to that. And then over here she has more toys, but this is the majority of her clothes. The little white plastic bin on the left is art supplies. So let's see. The top drawer should be paintbrushes and some painting accessories. Then she has, these are kind of like miscellaneous extra crayons. And then she's got some extra pencils, her dry erase markers. This has some little bits of paper in it if she wants to do a collage. And then this should be Play-Doh tools and tools for kinetic sand. And then some of the Play-Doh she can easily access, along with some slime and some glitter and stuff like that that she can add to her Play-Doh or her sand. The next one should be paint. So we have some paint here. These are her dot markers. I bought these for her for like her third Christmas. She's never really gravitated towards them, but we still have those. And then this is some extra chalk for outside. Oh, let's see. This can go up to one of the other drawers. And then down here I have her kinetic sand and then some pipe cleaners with some little bead activities that she can do. And a lot of that was things we made at the library, but she can still work on them. Okay, so here we have most of her clothes and then a couple of toy bins. This little dollhouse has seen better days. One of her friends was playing with it and disconnected it. So that needs to be put back together. She did play with it on and off. My mom had bought that for her for Christmas one year. And she has gotten use out of it, but she doesn't really use it too much these days. But that might be a little tricky to let go of. This pirate ship I got when I was helping someone declutter. And she did get a lot of play out of this for a while. She hasn't really reached for it, but I'm not going to part with it. This is her jewelry box and her wallet, and that's where her wallet lives. Then here we have her animals and people bin. I was able to pull a lot out of here. So it's just like little figures, some calico critter animals. So animals and people. These are her hats and jackets. She uses this robe as a cover up for her dancing outfit so it doesn't get dirty in the car. And then this is her car bin. And I was able to recently let go of some stuff in here too. So that's got a lot more space in it. And then here are pretty much all of her clothes except for some dresses that are hanging up in my room, in my bedroom closet. The unicorn one down in the middle is her sock drawer. And then all of her little backpacks and purses are now able to go on pegs, which I'm pretty excited about. That's her robe. This is some of the art that we have. This is her little bow holder. And I'm not really too happy with this paper storage situation that we have. I was using a different system that didn't really work very well, so I tried using these trays, but they just fall into each other. So I actually have one on her Amazon Christmas list that I would like to get. And then in this closet, we did some work here. Oh yeah, I was able to put some nails up on the wall so that I could get some items out of the bin that was down on the floor, and I was able to eliminate the bin. So I put some things up that she doesn't really need to access. Like, I can get these for her. This is kind of a backup lunch bag. The one that we use more often is in the kitchen, but I'm not gonna let this go. Her little puddle jumper, her case for her ukulele or her toy guitar, a Halloween witch's hat that she's had since she was like 2. That's pretty sentimental. And then I have her coat hanging here. And then down at the bottom, this is a little suitcase that she plays with. In this backpack is her sleeping bag that goes with her tent. That's her tent, and that's a little fort building kit her dad got her about 2 Christmases back. And these are all the clothes for her American Girl doll. This bin is currently empty. This is the one that was down here on the floor with everything just kind of like tossed into it. But since I only have these 4 big items down here now, I didn't think we needed the bin anymore. And then let's see, one of these is clothes for her to grow into. I think that one. And then down at the bottom should be the sentimental bin. And over here on this side, this is all Halloween stuff. The Halloween stuff is out right now. And then this one has some supplies for our Halloween party and some crepe paper and things that I still need to put up. And then I put her Play-Doh, her extra Play-Doh on this tray. These are 2 different sets of paints here. This is a little balloon pumping game that she has. And these are just extra baskets if we need them. And then these are some homeschool materials for her to grow into. And then I do have some toy storage under the bed as well. Okay, you guys, this is going to be my first attempt at a voiceover. So in these 4 storage bins under the bed, I have a set of blocks that you can build a little castle with, along with her trains and train tracks in that first bin. The second one is all of her wooden blocks, then magnetiles, and then the next one after that is her tools, her little tool belt, and her nature exploring items like magnifying glasses and things like that. Then we have her wobble board, which I'm able to store under the bed, which does get used. Here I was pointing out the little doll cradle that she has. I got that for her for Easter from Goodwill for only $8, and I used the cradle itself as her Easter basket. I think we're gonna pan over to her art table, and a family friend recently bought her that little pink toolbox. So a lot of her tools are in there now instead of in the bin under the bed. She does like to work on projects and things around the house with her dad. So she's got her own hammer and screwdriver and some other tools. And this table is for doing projects and art and stuff. So she does have a little art caddy there on the table, as well as a desk lamp for extra light when doing art. Under the table, she has her basket with her shoes that currently fit her, that she wears all of the time. And then she also has another basket for art projects that are either in the process of being created or things that she would like to keep. And on the little bedside table that has the lamp on it, she has her brush, her comb, and some hair ties and hair accessories, little scrunchies and things. We use a lot of books for decor. If there are any particular videos that you would like to see, please leave those down in the comments as well. And I do have some ideas for videos that I'm going to be working on in the future. And now that I've learned how to do the voiceover and recording, I have some ideas for some things that I would like to do with that, answering some questions about minimalism and decluttering techniques. Thanks for joining me here today, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.